leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffins.
DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest.
Welcome to the March 27th, 2025, Thursday edition of the DarkDox Digest with your host, Christian Coffins.
DarkDox Digest.
DarkDox Digest. Are we going to a protest on Saturday? I think we're going to a protest on Saturday. That's right. Calling all cars. Calling all cars. I get to bust out this new doohickey, and it has a thumb drive that you can load up with MP3s. So I'm gonna spend the next couple days finding all of the funniest MP3s of Alex Jones and anything else to trigger these liberal snowflakes over at this Tesla takedown event. Open the display capture. So our buddy, give it up everybody for the one and only Data Battle Z for bringing all of this to us. And, of course, there's Joe Biggs, who, initially found this Amanda Belzer person. And here's her Blue Sky account, a screenshot of it anyway, and there it is. It's very cute. They have their little Sig Heils, which if you see today's artwork, you could pretty much get a photo of anyone doing that. So it's like, all right, you got one of him doing it. We also have on Kamala and Obama and Elizabeth Warren. And who is the other one? Gandhi. We have Gandhi. No. Who is the other one? I have to look at the art now. Damn you. Today's cover. Oh, yeah. And of course, Hillary Clinton. A young Hillary Clinton. We were being nice. So Amanda Belzer on Blue Sky at Gravite. What's Gravite? I know graphite. No, gravity. Gravite. Okay, now what is that? Hold up. Gravite. Is that a thing? Is she making up words? Gravite. It's a cologne, a perfume. Okay. Gravite leverage AI to access real-time insights. Interesting. I'll leave that there for a second. She's an Oregonian in Orlando. She's leftist, queer, AUDHD. Is that auditory? Autism DHD? Yes, me too. Disabled, check. Eclectic witch, there it is. Survivor of. Artists, SWR, social worker? They're all social workers. Gravite6056 at gmail.com. She's a she-they. And let's see here. She has an update for us. Thank you. Appreciate you. So we are meeting in the parking lot of the Florida Mall in the Tesla delivery area and marching likely to a nearby public sidewalk. There is a risk of trespass from Florida Mall. We will proceed with caution. If this is a risk, this is a risk I am willing to take. If you are not, I understand. She sounds nice, We'll see. We'll see if she's just a peaceful protester organizing a peaceful protest. I've organized several of those, and maybe we can have a civilized conversation with this Amanda if she's willing to talk to us. We shall see. Today's episode's called Takedown. It's the action or an act of taking down. What are we taking down? Well, we're really taking down the takedown, I guess, because if there's any criminal activity, we have a bunch of law enforcement that's going to this. So, like, I wouldn't. Everything's going to be on film, and there's cops you can't even see, and I'll just leave it at that. But we're going to be there filming, so it's going to be funny. Yeah, so Barack Obama and Mitch McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell, screwed nearly 500 family farmers with a faulty dam. They failed to compensate them, and now the U.S. government is trying to take their land in court. Jacob Engels, our good friend of Data Battle Z's, Info Warrior here in Florida, will join Laura Loomer Thursday on Loomer Unleashed to discuss. Very cool. This is our little short, our little sizzle reel for tomorrow. This is from Joe Biggs. Big up to Data Battle Z for bringing this to my attention. Here you go, Elon Musk. Antifa, Seattle coming here to Florida to burn down Teslas. Orlando, Florida, that's where we're at. Tesla takedown, join the march. 29th Global Day of Action by Troublemakers, Seattle, Washington. Orlando against Tesla, Saturday, March 29th. 3 p.m., Orange County, 8000 South Orange Blossom Trail. No, it's the Tesla showroom in the Florida Mall. So if you're not doing anything at 3 o'clock, and you're here in Orlando, go to the Florida Mall and go to the Tesla dealership there and film. I think I'm gonna be out there. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Love those little shorts, man. Really appreciate it. So yeah, if you are in Florida, you can come on down to Central Florida at the Florida Mall. And the Tesla is... Let's see if we search for Florida Mall Tesla. So yeah, it's right here, but they're gonna be at the loading area. So go back and screenshot that long and lat. We'll do the same. Here we go, Tesla delivery. Yeah, so it's the back lot by the little gate here. It's right here. And this is the 528, also known as the Beach Line. And then this is the Florida Turnpike. And this is Sand Lake. And this is Orange Blossom Trail. Yeah. Who is Ranji Srinivasan, Indian student self-deported from U.S. after visa revocation? Ranjani is a doctoral student in urban planning from Columbia University's Graduate School of Architecture, Planning and Preservation. Ah, fellow colleague. Yeah. So they've been covering her for a minute on the American Journal with Harrison Smith, 9 to noon on Band.video, and also a little bit on the War Room with Owen Schroyer from 4 to 7 Eastern, and they're in Texas, so they're Central, an hour before. But yeah, this case is interesting to me, so I wanted to do a little deeper of a dive. An Indian student from Columbia University in the U.S. self-deported herself, from the country this week, days after the student's visa was revoked for participating in a pro-Palestine protest. What blows me away is that, they're going to go after, apparently because she wrote an article, but the U.S. Department of Homeland Security issued a statement saying that her visa was revoked on March 5th for advocating violence and terrorism. involved in activities supporting Hamas, a terrorist organization. On March 5th, the Department of State revoked her visa. The Department of Homeland Security has obtained video footage of her using the Customs and Border Protection Agency app to self-deport on March 11th. It said in a statement, Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, on a X post, said, "It is a privilege to be granted a visa to live and study in the United States of America. When you advocate for violence and terrorism, that privilege should be revoked and you should not be in this country." But I saw some stuff that she came here when she was like 10, but then like why isn't she a citizen? Why does she still have a visa? Maybe these are two different stories. Columbia University's website shows her as referring to themselves as gender-neutral they pronouns. I see. And a doctoral student in urban planning in Columbia University's Graduate School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. According to the university's website, they're doing research focusing on evolving nature and land-labor relations in peri-urban statutory towns in India, and receive support from... yeah. Okay. I kind of see what's going on here. The bigger issue is, can all foreign people that have problems with foreign things, can they just go back home and do their thing? Like, why bring it here to the United States? We have our own problems. So, like, that's the bigger question here. So, right now, there's a lot of incitement of violence on a lot of sides, mostly on the left, pretty much all on the left. But, yeah, we have our own problems here in the U.S. Brown University professor reported, Yeah, I don't know. I'll look a little bit more into it, let you know if there's anything that piques my interest. Mindo Brendo on YouTube, Brendan O'Leary posted, Bill Gates, within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. And I don't even need to go any further on this CNBC puff piece, but it reminded me of our song Idiocracy. Like where you're going to see the clip where he's in line to get a diagnosis, and it's just 3 rods. One goes in your mouth, one goes in your nose, and one goes in your butt, but they all look identical. This movie is a masterpiece, and I like playing this song. So here's our song Idiocracy off of our album Government Sponsored Terrorism from 2017.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits.
It didn't take 500 years since TV and a couple of beers. So here's a multiple haunting of the years. The time has come to decide. Any intellectual pop-up into the cold, but for the leaders of this world, brought to you by God, you have to get it is his real genocide. Motherfuckers. It's
Welcome to the Time Machine. We are going to take you back, first to the year 1939, when Charlie Chaplin and his evil Nazi regime enslaved Europe and tried to take over the world. But then an even greater force emerged. The and the un-Nazied the world. Forever, 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 forever.
Good film. If you haven't seen it, Idiocracy, Mike Judge, genius. This makes me mad. I'm mad. I'm usually all for arresting people and giving them the death penalty, putting them in wood chippers. But today, not so much. Predator poacher Alex Rosen arrested for disturbing the peace after confronting alleged repeat offender cross-dressing pedo. And, Brianna Morello, she's been on it. Definitely follow her on X. Alex Rosen was charged with a felony at I Fight for Kids. That's an I with an I. Alex Rosen was hit with a felony first-degree harassment, misdemeanor trespass, and misdemeanor peace disturbance charge. His bond was set at $15,000, and he has been ordered to have no contact with the alleged victim, which it's not even the person he was going after. It was, you'll see, it was the owner of the establishment where the pedophile alleged what it works, and not to return to any Steak and Shake restaurant. I am told he has been released from custody. Yes, and he was on the War Room with Owen Schroyer earlier today. I mean, just look at this guy. The smile on his face. Even the cops, like, what are we doing? Like, this is some bullshit. Look him up. Alex Rosen, he's been doing the work, and it's a shame they had to put the double handcuffs on him. Huge guy. But like he's like the sweetest guy, and he just goes around catching pedophiles, and he does a great job. He's busted a bunch of them, like with law enforcement, and fantastic. His videos are legendary. In Missouri, confronting a predator who was caught 3 months ago, who was talking to another decoy. Steak and Shake in Branson, Missouri, was defending the pedophile. Alleged. Let's watch the video. 8 seconds.
Don't touch my stuff. I didn't. Don't touch me. I just got that on camera. Don't touch me.
Yeah, so this right here, this Karen Incarnate is the alleged victim, but she isn't even the reason why Alex was there. She was just simply the manager or owner or whatever of the Steak and Shake, and she just assaulted on camera so assault and battery. Assault is just yelling at somebody. Battery is when you put your hands on somebody. If someone pushes you or like knocks your camera, that's battery. Plain and simple. No one has a right to touch you. Even law enforcement, they have to have probable cause to touch you and like handcuff you and arrest you and detain you and do all. There's laws, okay? So these like leftist pieces of shit that are just going around and like laying their hands on people, there need to be swifter consequences for those kinds of actions. They need to be arrested for doing that kind of stuff. So this was, I'll play a little bit of the call from prison with Brianna Morello.
Call connected. This call is being recorded and has a maximum call length of 5 minutes.
Hello, hello, my friend. What's going on?
Well,
don't say too much because I don't want you criminally charged with anything. Remember, it's a recorded line.
Right.
Okay.
So, we caught this pedo for the second time today. We caught him first in October, and he was arrested, but it looks like they did not follow through with charges, unfortunately. So, predictably, he reoffends, as they all do, whether they get charges or not.
Yeah.
And he messaged another one of our decoy accounts in February, and say pretty much identical messages. He sent penis pictures. He says, "I've always wanted to date a 13-year-old," and he asked to meet up multiple times. And today he wasn't trying to meet up, but we went to his job today where he works. And
is it a fast food joint?
Yeah, it was a Steak and Shake in Branson, Missouri. And usually the second time around they don't like to talk as much as the first time, I'm sure, as you can imagine. So
yeah.
I think he saw me from behind. I think he saw me from the kitchen at the counter. I was trying to kind of hide my face a little bit, but I kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And so I asked the employees, "Hey, can you bring Joshua over here?" And they're like, "Oh, he's busy." Like, basically, in the nicest way possible to kick rocks.
Yeah.
And so I talked in a very loud voice in the restaurant, and I didn't read through any graphic messages because there were kids in there, but I did read a message talking about how he wanted to date a 13-year-old, and I mentioned in a very loud voice that this place is employing a pedophile, and obviously the owner wasn't too happy about me doing that, understandably, and I just said that I'd wait for the cops to come, and the cops came, and we just told him, like, hey, same guy in October. Obviously, the situation was different because he admitted to a lot of things, including molesting a 12-year-old, which is really, sad they didn't seem to look into any of it.
Disgusting.
But yeah, so long story short, after talking to both parties, I guess not the pedophile at that point, they ended up arresting me for disturbing the peace, and they ended up, obviously trespassing me from the restaurant. But the good news is I just heard that they did end up taking in the pedo as well. So, it was like a kamikaze.
So he ended up getting, the alleged pedophile ended up getting arrested as well eventually, but not after Alex Rosen was arrested. I mean, it's ridiculous. They better throw that out. And he better be able to counter-sue because that was assault and battery. It's caught on camera. It's the law. Follow Brianna Morello on X. Let's see what's going on today at the White House. Restoring truth and sanity to American history. Addressing risks from Wilmer Hale? President Trump works to make our nation's capital safe and beautiful. Restores truth and sanity to American history. Addresses risk. Okay, good. OSTP goals and priorities. Take down top MS-13 gang leader. And that's all for today. That's a lot. Restoring truth and sanity to American history by the powers vested in Trump. Over the past decade, Americans have witnessed a concerted and widespread effort to rewrite our nation's history, replacing objective facts with distorted narratives driven by ideology rather than truth. This revisionist movement seeks to undermine the remarkable achievements of the United States by casting its founding principles and historical milestones in a negative light. Under this historical revision, our nation's unparalleled legacy for advancing liberty, individual rights, and human happiness is reconstructed as inherently racist, sexist, oppressive, and otherwise irredeemably flawed, rather than fostering unity and a deeper understanding of our shared past. The widespread effort to rewrite history deepens societal divides and fosters a sense of national shame. It's really the Dimension A and Dimension B that they talk about on the No Agenda show. That we're literally living in two separate timelines, whether or not you believe the lies of the mainstream media and the re-education system that we've had here in the United States, whether it's in the public education sector or in the university systems. All part of the same goals and agendas. They've been totally co-opted and infiltrated. So yeah, this needed to be said. Widespread effort to rewrite history deepens societal divides and fosters a sense of national shame, disregarding the progress Americans have made and the ideals that continue to inspire millions around the globe. The prior administration advanced this corrosive ideology at the Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where our nation declared that all men are created equal. The prior administration sponsored training by an organization that advocates dismantling Western foundations and integrating institutional racism. Interrogating, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Maybe that's what they really meant. And pressured National Historical Park rangers at their racial identity should dictate how they convey history and visiting America, because America is purportedly racist. Our once widely respected symbol of American excellence and a global icon of cultural achievement, the Smithsonian Institute in recent years has come under the influence of divisive, race-centered ideology. This shift has promoted narratives that portray Americans and Western values as inherently harmful and oppressive. For example, the Smithsonian American Art Museum today features The Shape of Power, Stories of Race and American Sculpture, an exhibit representing that societies, including the United States, have used race to establish and maintain systems of power, privilege, and disenfranchisement. The exhibit further claims that the sculpture has been a powerful tool in promoting scientific racism, and promotes the view that race is not a biological reality but a social construct, stating race is a human invention. So yeah, it's the whole transgender movement all over again, but they're using the same system of mindfuckery, as it were, to separate us into, and so not even race. Like, if race is a human invention, then racism doesn't exist. Like, ugh. Okay. The National Museum of African American History and Culture has proclaimed that hard work and individualism and the nuclear family are aspects of white culture, yet it has been practiced by pretty much every race of people all across the world throughout human history. The forthcoming Smithsonian American Women's History Museum plans on celebrating the exploits of male athletes participating in women's sports. These are just a few examples. It is the policy of the Trump administration to restore federal sites dedicated to history, including parks and museums, to solemn and uplifting public monuments that remind Americans of our extraordinary heritage, consistent progress towards becoming a more perfect union, an unmatched record of advancing liberty, prosperity, and human flourishing. Museums in our nation's capital should be places where individuals go to learn, not be subjected to ideological indoctrination or divisive narratives that distort our shared history. And it doesn't matter what color you are, or what your political beliefs are. Like, we need to have a shared history of, like, no, this is the way it went down, and here are the facts. It can be contested. It should be contested. It should be a discussion, but we should have a result at the end of it. Saving our Smithsonian. Vice President, the consultation of the Assistant to the Press of Domestic Policy and Special Assistant to President, Senior Associate Staff Secretary Lindsay Halligan, Esquire, shall work to effectuate the policies of this order through his role in the Smithsonian Board of Regents with respect to Smithsonian Institute and its museum. Goes on to the National Zoo and much more. Good. Addressing risks from Wilmer Hale. Let's see what this is about. Trump administration is committed to addressing the significant risks associated with law firms. Oh, it's more of the big law firms. Okay, got it. So, needed, necessary. President Donald J. Trump works to make our nation's capital safe and beautiful. Surge law enforcement officers in public areas and strictly enforce quality of life laws in public areas like drug use, unpermitted demonstrations, vandalism, and public intoxication. Now, unpermitted demonstrations, I have a little bit of a problem with, because I don't believe that it says anywhere in the First Amendment that you need a permit in order to exercise your freedom of speech. So we got to be very careful with that kind of language, unpermitted demonstrations. You don't need a permit to demonstrate. You have a right. Now, it's one thing if you have like thousands of people showing up. That's a public safety issue. There's permits in place. Depending on how many occupants, you have to have a certain amount of toilets, fine. But like if you're out there with a bullhorn and like they're trying to pull this on you, you can go fuck yourself. Aside from that, we need to clamp down a little bit because we are in the middle of a civil war, whether you want to call it that or not. President Trump outlines OSTP's goals and priorities. How can the United States secure its position as an unrivaled world leader in critical and emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum information science, and nuclear technology, maintaining our advantage over potential adversaries? After 4 years of weakness and complacency, we must set our sights even higher. I'm calling to blaze a trail for the next frontiers of science. We have the opportunity to cement America's global technological leadership and usher in a golden age of American innovation. That would be nice. Trump administration takes down top MS-13 gang leader. This morning, Trump administration directed a successful apprehension of a key leader of the brutal MS-13 gang in Virginia, the illegal immigrant from El Salvador, who was one of the top 3 MS-13 leaders in the United States. Thanks to the coordinated efforts by federal law enforcement and local law enforcement as well in Virginia, this gang leader is no longer terrorizing our streets. What's his name? I don't like that it doesn't say his name.
It's about 4:30 this morning. The great men and women of law enforcement have been working on this operation for days and days and probably weeks. Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia, living half an hour outside of Washington, D.C. He is an illegal alien from El Salvador, and he will not be living in our country much longer. He's in custody this morning. One of the top leaders right here near our nation's capital. I just cannot thank Governor Youngkin enough for his leadership in this effort. This has been a joint effort with state and local agencies. FBI Director Patel, thank you so much.
That clip was shorter than I thought. Oh, man.
We have been out since about 4:30.
Multitasking here. Anti-abortion groups aim to end Planned Parenthood funding and suggest must Doge get it done.
If you see these pink crosses, these are 1,076 pink crosses. This is a cemetery of the innocents that represent the babies.
Says defund Planned Parenthood.
That Planned Parenthood kills every day. This brings us to today's historic moment, where the pro-life movement stands unified
behind one single message: defund the entire abortion industry. Defund their longtime standard bearer at Planned Parenthood, once and for all. It's very clear what they must do next. Defund your political enemies. Invest in life-saving, life-affirming medical care. Quite frankly, it is high time to tell Planned Parenthood to go fund yourselves.
Go fund yourself. I like it. National Network of Abortion Funds, abortionfunds.org, is on the other side of this. And they seem pretty funded. The Hyde Amendment and coverage of abortion services under Medicaid in the post-Roe era. That was from the 14th. Key takeaways. Since 1977, the Hyde Amendment has banned the use of any federal funds for abortion, only allowing exceptions to pay for terminating pregnancies that endanger the life of the pregnant person really, or that result from rape or incest. Endanger the life of the pregnant woman, or that result from rape or incest. What will public funding for abortion cost in Colorado? Analysts estimate the impact as lawmakers weigh move. Nearly $5.9 million annual costs offset by Medicaid savings on births, but with more general fund impacts. Denver Post. Amid all the noise about the UK's two-tier justice system, there is silence on class. So yeah, apparently if you're white and you're local, I'm too small. I'm just too small. Yeah, like locals get different treatment than the foreigners, and it's kind of happening here too, and it really needs to stop. As so often such a debate, the controversies over the new guidelines for courts from Sentencing Council for England, Wales has obscured much of as it has illuminated. Imposition of community and custodial sentences effective April 1st, 2025. Guidelines. Users should be aware that the equal treatment bench book covers important aspects of fair treatment and disparity outcomes for different groups in the criminal justice system. It provides guidance which sentencers are encouraged to take into account whenever applicable, and to ensure that there is fairness for all involved court proceedings. They seem to be a bit more fair for the illegals. So yeah, link in the description for that. It's 352 pages. Does the UK have a two-tier criminal justice system? And if so, why? This is from February 14th, or updated anyway. The allegations that the UK is implementing a two-tier criminal justice system has recently gained prominence. The meaning of the phrase two-tier appears to be the criminal justice system is biased against the native population. I mean, yeah. And or those in the right of the political spectrum. Meanwhile, why were warning signs missed for the UK teen who killed 3 girls in a stabbing rampage? Six months after teenage attackers stabbed 3 girls to death at a children's dance class in England, new details about his background have sparked questions about how authorities repeatedly failed to spot the threat he posed. Officials revealed this week that Axel Rudakabana, 18, had been convicted of sexual assault at school, was obsessed with violence, and was referred to counterterrorism officials multiple times before his attack shocked the nation. But the government said that because the team did not fit into existing ways of understanding terrorism. What? He was a loner who did not show a clear adherence to an extremist ideology or an unorganized group or an organized group. Officials did not flag him as a serious threat. Okay. Wow. I don't believe it. I don't believe that no. They're not that dumb. They're not that out of touch. They chose to kind of look the other way and let this happen. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that shows how Britain's counterterrorism strategy needs a complete rethink, at least. God, the broken clock is right twice a day. Sickening moment, teens fist bump each other and laugh after stabbing innocent man in murder attempt before armed police take them down in the streets. Looks gay to me. Huh. Got the lasers on him. South Yorkshire. They're brazen. They're getting brazen. 5 injured in Amsterdam mass stabbing attack. A stabbing incident occurred in central Amsterdam, Netherlands on Thursday, leaving at least 5 people injured in the apparent attack, locals have said. Okay. Whoa. Perpetrators have been arrested. Amsterdam police report 5 injured in stabbing in Dutch capital. Jeez. Coalition of the willing to expand Ukraine war. Macron hands Zelensky billions as Trump ceasefire is not honored. Look at that fucking demon. I hate his fucking face. And this little pedophile sympathizer. I think we need to go to war with the Crown and Ukraine. I mean, both of them together are like the size of a couple of our smallest states. They can go fuck themselves. Israel on the brink of civil war as judicial overhaul bill progresses. Thousands outside protesting Israeli Knesset ahead of a final voting on a law that would further politicize the selection of the Supreme Court judges. Protesters outside Knesset set up a mock Qatari embassy featuring multiple people in white robes fanning themselves with money as Arabic music plays in the background. See, we need more puppet protests. I am all for it. I love it. That's a peaceful protest, not burning a Tesla. Italy approves draft law outlining violence against women. The country is grappling with its long history of violence against women by current and former partners. On the eve of International Women's Day, Italy's national government late Friday approved a draft law that introduces femicide to the country's law, following an uproar over violence against women by their former or current partners. Those convicted would face life in prison under the proposed legislation. The draft law provides an aggravating circumstances and increases the punishment for the crimes of personal abuse, stalking, sexual violence, and revenge porn. Okay, I could deal with that. It wasn't DarkDox related. I don't know why it ended up in the feed. The EU roadmap for women's rights. I guess kind of, but it's more domestic issues. Don't hit your women, and women don't hit your men. Only the good touch. The EU roadmap for women's rights. A renewed push for gender equality. Returning home after. I don't need all this. Freedom for gender-based violence from the highest standards of health. Okay. Let me look more into this. Didn't do my research. Thought I could just wing it. Mike Walls, Pete Hegseth, and Tulsi Gabbard. Private data leaked online, including phone numbers and passwords. So they're trying to. What? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys think the Signalgate thing was an actual hack, or are they just covering ass? Like, what are we doing here? We're still on Signal, but we also don't say anything sensitive or nothing. I wouldn't. I'm public right now on the show. Trump officials' private contact information was found online. Let's see what Trump says.
Information, as I understand it, they used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. This certainly will look at this, but the main thing was nothing happened. The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. So this was not classified. Now, if it's classified information, it's probably a little bit different. And I think we're going to look at, we always want to use the best technology. This was the best technology for the moment. But again, it wasn't classified, so they probably viewed it as being something that wasn't that important. And it obviously, with the attack being, I don't know if it's been read out to you yet, but that attack was a tremendous success for the U.S., a tremendous success.
Yeah. I still think that this Jeff Goldberg needs to be investigated and questioned. What if DarkDox was in the chat? Why I would be arrested. We can't treat the Atlantic any different. At darkdox.me/sharp, we have these fantastic projectors that I wanted to showcase today. They're $82, and they're $60 projectors, but they come with a 1 terabyte micro SD card loaded with their DarkDox archive with over 100 documentaries, declassified federal documents, podcasts, audiobooks, and much more. And, or you can it has an HDMI slot, so you can plug in your smartphone, tablet, laptop, PC, Switch, Fire Stick TV, Google Chromecast, PS4, and Apple TV compatible. Also has headphone slots, which you can also hook in a DVD player to, and a U-disc for USB flash drives or HDDs. And, I just wanted to, let you guys know that it's a fantastic product. I actually have one here at the house for myself, and that's why I like getting these and loading them up and sending them out. Because let's say it has an internal battery, and let's say that the power goes out, and you can at least watch movies. You can go camping, projected on the side of buildings. Go crazy with that thing. I love projectors. We also have an MP4 player for $69. Again, loaded with the entire DarkDox archive for when you're on the go. And we also have projectors and thumb drives and t-shirts and a film we made, They Are Here to Save the World. We made 2 comic books called Tales of Terror about Boys Town, Nebraska, the Franklin Cover-Up, Bohemian Grove, and much more. Also, we're affiliates of thealexjonesstore.com, and right now they got 15% off all t-shirts, 40% off all supplements, and 20% off all hoodies, up to 40% off. They got gold, silver coins. They got a couple of these Spartan awesome knives with a skull crusher and plastic knuckles. Also, I'm a big fan of the She Legit complex with ashwagandha, magnesium, black pepper, black seed extract, burdock root, iris sea moss, and much more. So definitely check out thealexjonesstore.com/DarkDox and we get 10%. Greatly appreciate it. Underage boy sexually assaulted aboard cruise ship by Mexican suspects, including man with HIV. Ugh. Federal authorities will seek to deport 2 Mexican nationals, including one who is HIV positive. How did they know that, by the way? I wonder. Who have been charged in the disturbing sex attack on young boy aboard a cruise ship bound for Miami last week, according to reports. We got Jose Juan Prudencio Diaz. And we got Ricardo Danielle Mondragonil. These seem like fake names. I don't know. Trump calls for immediate investigation into corrupt D.C. courts as TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, Judge Boasberg's give forced Trump case. Yeah, they're supposed to get these court cases at random. There's like a whole system for it. And he got 4 Trump cases. How disgraceful is it that this jug, James Boasberg, has been given a 4th Trump case, something which is statistically impossible. There is no way for a Republican, especially a Trump Republican, to win before him. He is highly conflicted. Not only his hatred for Trump, massive Trump derangement syndrome, but also because of disqualifying family conflicts. Boasberg, who is a chief judge for the D.C. District Court, seems to be grabbing the Trump cases all to himself, even though it is not supposed to happen that way. There is still such a thing as a wheel where judges are chosen fairly at random. And good news is that probably doesn't matter because it is virtually impossible for Trump to get an honest ruling in D.C. Our nation's courts are broken, with New York and D.C. being the most preeminent of their corruption and radicalization. There must be immediate investigation into the rigged system before it is too late. Laura Loomer, Johnny on the spot. Less than 12 hours after I exposed Judge James Boasberg's conflict of interest with his daughter Catherine Boasberg, who works for a 501c3 called Partners for Justice, PFJ_USA, that gives criminal aliens and gang members legal advice. Yeah, I believe we played her video on the last episode. Yes. So there's Catherine Boasberg. Instagram, Kathleen Boasberg. Oh, she took down her LinkedIn. You ain't got no LinkedIn. Also took down your Instagram. You ain't got no Instagram. How does it feel to be a piece of shit? All right, what do we got? We're at 9:01. I'm just going to read off the headlines here. Link in the description. I attended an anti-Trump walkout at my school. The thing I witnessed were shocking. Guest teenage writer Lucky Bassieri tells all.
Yeah, DEI integrated into the courses, and right now the policies in the federal government have no impact on the FNHU courses.
And EO has been written by President Trump, and it is unconstitutional.
Yeah,
and it is illegal.
It's not impacting Southern New Hampshire.
A leaked phone call provided to OMG reveals that Southern New Hampshire University is integrating DEI into sociology courses amid President Trump's order to stop teaching DEI.
Arrest him. Britain's state broadcaster offers employee counseling to help cope with Trump presidency. Where's my re? January 6th is not a free pass for left-wing violence. Conservatives get jailed. Antifa gets applauded. Right? Whitewashed by the mainstream media, Ukrainian Nazi fighters from Azov Regiment sentenced in Russian military court. Good. Wood chipper. See, these are real Nazis. You see? These are real Tiki Torch Nazis in Ukraine. Tucker Carlson's father, Dick Carlson, a journalist and political operative, passed away at 84. Tucker posts his fascinating obituary. Woo! It's a long one. I'll let you guys read that one. I'll read it later. Don Jr. weighs in on disgusting attack on Vice President Vance. These 7 cowardly neocons attacking JDs anonymously are genuine pussies. Venezuelan migrant arrested for a mass shooting in Houston. Jesus. This goes on and on. Seriously, wood shepherd, death penalty. We don't have time for this.
Lieutenant Herelica, who's our night commander for Houston Police Department. At approximately 3 o'clock this morning, HPD dispatch received a call in regards to
Volume is low.
Shot.
Sorry for anyone that lost anybody, and Jesus. Here we go.
HPD rushed to the scene where they found 6 people who were shot, and they were all rushed to the hospital. Police say 4 of those people are still in critical condition. Records show Bracino is a Venezuelan national and is currently on an ICE hold. HPD says the second suspect that was seen on that surveillance is still on the run. Anyone with any information about this mass shooting is asked to contact Crime Stoppers or HPD. Show Bracino opened fire into the front of the nightclub, striking 6 people with gunfire before.
Disgusting. Data Battle Z has informed me in the chats that Jacob Ingles' interview with Laura Loomer has been rescheduled for 9:45 p.m. tomorrow night. That's Friday, March 28th. Today is Thursday. And that's on Loomer Unleashed. X.com/Loomer Unleashed. EU goes full prepper. Calls on citizens to stockpile 72 hours worth of food, water, and other essentials. That is... I almost thought she had a mustache. Colorado State Representative says births more expensive than abortion, pushes baby murder as a cost-saving measure. Yeah, this is something else.
Because that savings comes from the averted births that will not occur because abortions happened instead. So a birth is more expensive than an abortion. So the savings comes in Medicaid births that will not occur. This bill will actually decrease costs for our healthcare policy and financing department, our Medicaid expenditures in both this year and out years, as the savings from averted births outweigh the cost of covering reproductive health care for all Coloradans. This bill requires all abortion services to be state funded. The bill requires an increase to general fund of $1.5 million to cover the cost for care. But again, a reminder that ultimately the state will see a cost savings. And ultimately, it is truly an honor to be here carrying this bill alongside Rep. Garcia, and I ask for your support of Senate Bill 183.
That's right, folks. Killing a baby is actually cheaper than raising one. This argument brought to you by hell itself and Satan's mind. Cheaper to, and of course, this reminds you of the headline from CBC, that's the Canadian version of BBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company. Medically assisted deaths could save millions in healthcare spending. What type of mind comes up with this type of argument? You know what's cheaper than keeping people alive? Killing them. Yeah, great point. I really would like to see the person make this argument in the first place. I mean, I guess we just did. But the way it's phrased is maybe a little bit, disguising the reality. If I come to you and say, I have an idea of how we could save $138 million in healthcare. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Well, what do you got for us? I'm like, why don't we just kill the sick people? Why don't we just kill the people that are costing us money, and then we can save the money? We can fund more transgender operations. We can fund, excavations of churches where there aren't any bodies. We can spend the billions upon billions of dollars on other things that make everything worse. We can save that money with the simple act of murder. It's so convenient. Why didn't we think of this before? People cost money. There were less people. That cost less money. I'd never thought of it that way. We're just going to kill them. It's so simple. It's so easy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Not today, Satan. Ex-FBI agent finds possible ATF honeypot website operation selling Glock switches. So, if you see a Glock switch website on the internet, don't buy it. Michigan Election Integrity Committee Chair Rep. Rachel Smith asked Detroit residents Ramon Jackson and Pastor Sewell to share stunning scheme they uncovered to steal elections in Detroit. Renowned doctor drops vaccine bombshell on Rogan. Exposes polio eradication myths. Will hunt you down at El Salvadorian prison. Noam warns gangs to flee the U.S. She did like a cute little promo. See, is there a video? Is there a photo? Yeah. Ballsy. Journalists were banned from asking about election integrity during the Biden administration's reign of terror. Not anymore. Watch Gateway pundits Kara Castronova asked the White House about elections. What do we got here? Maybe next time. Snano4. Yeah. Anything else really pertinent? Ukrainian dictator Zelensky says Putin will die soon and war will come to an end. Sounds like a threat.
Soon, and that's a fact, and it will come to an end. And it could come to an end even before he ends his absolutely safe and historically losing life. Historically lost life.
Representative Goldman, the FBI investigation of Tesla attacks is political weaponization. Tell me about it. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Ontario Premier Doug Ford, we're going to inflict as much pain as possible on the American people. He actually said that.
One thing, we're going to make sure that we inflict as much pain as possible to the American people without inflicting pain on the Canadian population.
Sounds like a threat. Radical Ninth Circuit Court agrees with lower court, tells Trump to reinstate thousands of fired probationary employees. It's crazy. Insubordination. South American theft group busted in New York amid investigations into nationwide crime spree. Jeez. I mean, it just goes on and on. 4 Chilean illegals were arrested in New York City this week amid widening probe into a South American theft group suspected of terrorizing citizens across the U.S. for years, authorities say. Al Gore is still wrong about everything. Private contract info and passwords. Yeah, we got that. Oh yeah, this guy was pretty good. He was on the Alex Jones show today. Forbidden knowledge. That's 4 with the number 4. Forbidden knowledge, and he's an expert on the occult and Egyptian, architecture and history, and it was a very good interview. So check him out. Republicans look to abolish the TSA in favor of private security at airports. You know, it's funny. My mom did that at Miami International Airport for years before 9/11, and then started working with the transition into the TSA and then left because it was just bullshit. So, yeah, I don't know. Worked before. Should probably, 9/11 didn't, change the system of airports, and, so I think it can be done better privately, because you look at all the stuff that the TSA has been getting away with. It's crazy. From stealing to just the pat downs, taking your shoes off. Yeah, definitely check out this DHS document on Secure Flight, Silent Partner, and Quiet Skies. This was the program that Tulsi Gabbard was on before she was in the Trump administration, and it wasn't even to her knowledge. It's very shady and very unconstitutional. If you're on Rumble, we're DarkDox. If we're on BitChute, we're DarkDox. If you're on Facebook, I'm Christian X Coffins. If you're on X, I'm Sacred Owls Unite. If you are a human being on Cash App, give me some money. /DarkDox. Buy me a chicken dinner. Definitely support our affiliates, thealexjonesstore.com/DarkDox and darkdox.me/shop. I hope all of you guys have a great weekend. And remember, if you're in Orlando, come to the Orlando Mall and bring a camera and some water and a bullhorn, and let's make sure that these idiots behave themselves, because this is our town, not yours. You can go back to Seattle or wherever the fuck you came from. Go back to China, you commie. This is Christian Coffins once more going down to the universe. That's a nice one tonight. Turning off the display capture, coming back to Sea Worlds, because this is our town. You hear me? Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you on Monday. If I don't see you on Saturday, beware. Take care. Bye-bye.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffins.
DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest. If you value this program, donate what you can at cash.app/DarkDox. DarkDox Digest. DarkDox Digest.